Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching the first 12 episodes of Eden Zero, based off the manga by Hiro Mashima. Now, though, for those of you who know Hiro Mashima, you probably remember him as the creator of Rave Master and Fairy Tail. And after the final season of Fairy Tail, as far as the anime was considered, came out in late 2019, it came out throughout late 2018, throughout most of 2019, people were wondering when his newest series would get an anime adaptation. Well, 2021 was the year, and the first 12 episodes are finally on Netflix, so does it live up to his previous work? Let's see. The story revolves around Rebecca, essentially a girl who's like a YouTube streamer version of, say, Lucy from Fairy Tail. She happens to visit the Grand Bell Kingdom, which makes her the first human visitor of said kingdom in 100 years, and she meets another human there named Shiki, who's essentially like a black-haired version of Natsu Dragneel. As the two manage to become friends, and they happen to, and Shiki introduces her to the various robots of his kingdom, we learn that the robots have a little bit of an ulterior motive when it comes to getting Shiki off of Grand Bell to begin with, and through a series of events, Shiki and Rebecca, along with a robot version of Happy, voiced by Tia Ballard, just like the original Fairy Tail series, all three of them happen to go on an adventure through space, through different planets, getting new friends, defeating bad guys, and doing all that adventuring stuff you'd expect from the shonen manga creator Hiro Mashima. But that's all I'll say about the story. What I'll say here is, while the story initially seems like it's going through the motions of Fairy Tail and Rave Master, it does have its own interesting quirks that do manage to keep you interested, even if you've already seen Hiro Mashima's previous work. For one thing, making it more of a science fiction story as opposed to fantasy does help out quite a bit, especially considering that while Shiki and Rebecca are very similar to their previous counterparts, they still do have fun chemistry with each other, and they still are cool characters to have an adventure with. Shiki's power of gravity ether does also allow for a lot of cool action scenes, which actually have some pretty solid animation from JC Staff. It's not the best animation in the world that you'd see from a company like Ufotable or Studio Bones, but for the action scenes it works out well, and the special moves are quite pleasing to the eye. Speaking of pleasing to the eye, there's a lot of fan service in this series, and honestly, fan service was something that Hiro Mashima always delved in, even in Rave Master and Fairy Tail. But here it happens about as often, and if you're not a fan of fan service, you probably weren't a fan of it in Fairy Tail or Rave Master either. So it pretty much has the same level of effect on me. But it certainly helps that Rebecca is definitely a fun character. She gets captured a few times throughout, especially throughout this first 12 episodes, but she is able to hold her own in the action when she has to, and she's just a fun character with a great performance from Kira Buckland. Though you get the sense that Hiro Mashima knew he was going to rely on Fairy Tail throughout a lot of this, not only through Happy being a character who's in here, voiced by the exact same voice actor who voiced him before, but also with another character named Elsie, who's basically just the space pirate equivalent of Urza Scarlet, to the point where Colleen Clinkenbeard returns to voice her. But there are plenty of other characters who are fun in their own right. There's this samurai woman named Homura. There's this scummy scientist named Lights. There's this fun sister character who's a bit of a dom, and there's this robot ninja guy named Jin, who probably makes for some of the best action scenes with Shiki. I am interested in seeing if he's going to return for the second half, and any of the action scenes he's going to be involved in there. So as a whole, while Eden Zero doesn't win any points in the originality department, it has enough good animation, fun storylines, and just an all-around cheerful tone that Hiro Mashima generally excels in. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely recommended for Hiro Mashima fans, and for everyone else, I'd recommend a few episodes, just try it out and see if it's your thing. See you next time.